This is a CBS 4 News special report.
Good morning. We are coming to you live right now. Live pictures out of Jackson Memorial Hospital. Very powerful and emotional scene out there. As you can see, there are hundreds of law enforcement officers from all across South Florida lining the roundabout, lining the streets, where in just a few moments, the body of Detective Cesar Echaverry will be taken to the medical examiner's office.
Yeah, he passed on Wednesday at just 29 years old. We have a crew out there right now. You can imagine a very emotional day for everyone out there. Our own Deborah is out there. Deborah, can you tell us what it's been like, how the officers are doing out there, and kind of set the scene for us?
Yeah, well, Trish, it's been an extremely somber and emotional morning. I mean, the emotions are literally palpable. It's impossible for us to be here and see what is happening here without feeling a great sense of sadness. And you guys just mentioned Officer Cesar Echaverry was just 29 years old. He was with Miami-Dade PD for 5 years, and as Miami-Dade law enforcement officers were preparing for today's honor guard procession, it was difficult to ignore the sense of sadness I saw on everyone's faces. Everyone embracing one another, hugging one another. At certain times, I've seen officers wiping tears from their face, and it felt like there was a stillness in the air, kind of like this exact moment now. I want you to just take a look at what's happening right now. The body is being moved.
A very emotional and just heartbreaking scene that we are witnessing right now. These are live pictures over Jackson Memorial Hospital, where just moments ago, the body of Detective Cesar Echaverry was taken from the hospital and put into that ambulance that you see right there, and will be making the procession to the medical examiner's office. We saw them saluting him. There's hundreds of law enforcement officers from across South Florida. The honor guard is there as well. They will also be walking with the ambulance to the medical examiner's office, which is less than a block away, but they are taking an extended route for the proper honoring of this detective who lost his life just at the age of 29 years old. He lost his life while protecting the community that he lived in, the community he was born in, and the community that he loved.
He did. He passed on Wednesday. He was just 29 years old, and like you just mentioned, as you can see now, they're saluting him and walking away. Looks like they're going to start the procession here shortly. They are taking an extended route. From here, they'll head north towards Northwest 20th Street, and on 10th Avenue, it will go under a fire rescue flag before ending at the medical examiner's office. Again, a very emotional scene that we're witnessing. You see the officers saluting. You can the somberness, you can just, it's hard not to be emotional just watching it. We have several cameras along the route they're taking to give you a couple different views of the procession before they eventually end up at the medical examiner's office.
Yeah, we saw his body draped in the American flag. I'm assuming his family is also there, also hospital staff. And these are live pictures from the ground. We want to go back alive to Deborah Souverine. She's witnessing this firsthand. Deborah.
Yes, Maribel. I just want to reiterate what you and Trish just mentioned about the emotions out here. Earlier, I was talking to someone else out in the field, and I told her it's almost as if you could hear a pin drop because of how quiet it was out here. Also, extremely difficult to ignore the sadness on everyone's faces. A very, very heavy feeling out here as these officers prepare to send their brother off and give him a farewell. It's extremely heartbreaking, but as you can see now, you can see the motorcycle officers are preparing to gear up on their bicycles. They will be leading the procession right following the honor guard. The honor guard has gone to a vehicle off to the parking lot here, but we're just moments away from the beginning of this procession, everyone getting prepared. Moments ago, before we showed these images live, everyone was in a circle around the ambulance praying, and we can only imagine the thoughts on their minds, the thoughts in their hearts. Now I can see officers here wiping their faces. It's just a very sad, sad, somber feeling.
It really is gut-wrenching just to see these images, and I can only imagine you being there, seeing this firsthand. You see these officers, these tough men, I'm sure with tears in their eyes, knowing that one of their brothers lost his life in a tragic way, just protecting and doing what he loved to do. He was born and raised here in South Florida. He was actually born in Hialeah on December 8th, 1992, just 29 years old. He had a fiance about to get married. He is a son. He is survived by his mother, Sandra, his father, Cesar, his sister, Sandra Virginia, his fiance, Stephanie, and of course, our utmost respect to the family. Our hearts, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and to all the men and women in blue.
Yeah, and the obituary they wrote for him, I mean, they said that he spent every moment outside of work enjoying time with those loved ones, Maribel, that you just mentioned, and his friends and family. He loved biking in the Virginia Key trails and making all those memories, saying that he truly loved living life and did so to the fullest.
Yeah, we're also told he attended John Ferguson High School. He actually played varsity baseball there. He was recruited by the Nicaraguan Baseball League called La Alcaldía Municipal del Diario. He then attended Miami-Dade College. He went on to Florida International University, majoring in criminal justice. So this is his hometown. He was born and raised here. He was doing what he loved. And unfortunately, he tragically lost his life on Wednesday. So again, now we're seeing the motorman just standing by for the ambulance that is carrying the body of Detective Echeverri that will be taken to the medical examiner's office. As we mentioned earlier, the medical examiner's office is down the street from Jackson Memorial Hospital. However, they are taking an extended route to honor the officer. Again, hundreds of law enforcement agents from across South Florida are there to pay their respects to their brother.
And that medical examiner's office, like we just mentioned, is about a block away from Jackson Memorial Hospital, but they are taking the extended route to honor him, and we'll have several cameras along that route that they're taking to give you a couple different views of the procession. It looks like they're about to get ready to do that now. They'll be heading east on Northwest 19th Street. From there, they'll head north towards Northwest 20th Street. They'll eventually end up on 10th Avenue, where it will go under a fire rescue flag before ending at the medical examiner's office. A very somber, emotional day down there. Our own Deborah Souverine was down there. She said it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop.
So once again, if you're just joining us, these are live pictures out of Jackson Memorial Hospital, where in just a few moments, the body of Detective Cesar Echaverry will be taken to the medical examiner's office. Unfortunately, he lost his life on Wednesday in the line of duty, protecting and serving the community. We saw just moments ago as his body, draped in the American flag, was taken out of the hospital and put into the ambulance. So we want to take you live pictures right now where the motormen will be heading the procession, followed by the ambulance with the detective's body.
If you are just joining us now, we are watching the procession of bringing Officer Cesar Echaverry to the medical examiner's office. He passed on Wednesday at just 29 years old. There's motormen and other MDPD and other officers and local leaders paying tribute during this ceremony, currently being taken to the medical examiner's office, which is just about a block away from where they started at Jackson Memorial Hospital. As you can see, they are taking an extended route to really pay tribute to him. We have several cameras that are giving you different views of this procession, a very emotional scene down there right now. Maribel, we were just talking to our own Deborah who's live. She said she saw the officers down there wiping tears from their face. We saw the officers salute him with a flag over his body before they put him into the ambulance you're looking at right now. It's, you know, hard not to be emotional seeing such a just very somber scene.
It really is heartbreaking to see this happening once again. You can see they've blocked off the streets on their way to the medical examiner's office. We've also seen just civilians and people who are stopping by also to pay their respects to this officer, just 29 years old. Hard to believe that this is it's happened again here, and you can't help but my heart hurts. That's how I can only describe it. My heart hurts for the family. My heart hurts for the police department, these men and women that go out there each and every day and they risk their lives. Right now you see the ambulance going under the flag, making its way to the medical examiner's office.
And like you were saying, Maribel, you know, your heart hurts, especially for his family. He's survived by his father, Cesar, his mother, Sandra, his sister, his fiance, and other loving relatives and extended family. They listed a plethora of things that he did outside of work. He loved biking and spending time with family and friends on the weekend. And he's from Miami, grew up, he was born and raised here, so he's deep rooted in South Florida. So not only his law enforcement staff, but family and friends and others throughout South Florida are, very clearly hurting as, we see the array of people saluting him.
Echi, as they called him, he was born in Hialeah. He went to high school. He went to high school here.
Yeah.
He went to college. He went to university. He graduated from FIU. I mean, this is a homegrown boy who unfortunately lost his life serving the community that he lived in, the community that he loved, and just such a powerful scene. Look at that. Look at the amount of motormen, the amount of officers that are out there lining the streets. They've literally made a human chain down the street to the medical examiner's office.
Shows what kind of an impact he made, the amount of people showing up for him. Right now, you can see they're going under the fire rescue flag, and before they end up at the medical examiner's office, he was taken from Jackson Memorial Hospital. They did just take the extended route.
Seems like they're just arriving at the medical examiner's office. Let's just give him a moment of silence right now as he arrives. If you're just joining us, these are live pictures over the medical examiner's office where just a few moments ago, the body of Detective Cesar Echaverry was taken from Jackson Memorial Hospital in a procession to the medical examiner's office down the street. But the scene was just so powerful, so moving, so emotional as hundreds of law enforcement officers lined the street, standing, making literally a human line down the street from Jackson to the medical examiner's office. And these are pictures out of Jackson Memorial Hospital still right now as they are just standing and praying and honoring their brother who passed away on Wednesday at the young age of 29 years old.
Yeah, just 29 years old, and like we were saying, he's from South Florida, born, raised, went to school here. He was born in Hialeah. He attended John Ferguson High School, attended Miami-Dade College, and then went to FIU studying criminal justice. He's survived by his dad, his mom, his sister, his fiance. Like we said, he was 29 years old, very young.
And such an emotional and powerful shot that we saw when they were removing his body in the flag, draped in the American flag, out of the hospital and into the ambulance for the procession.
And you saw
to
their
get
officers.
to the medical examiner's office. Deborah, she's live on the scene. She says, "You can hear a pin drop." That's how quiet and silent it was. Everyone paying their utmost respect. So right now, these are live pictures out of the medical examiner's office, where we just witnessed a very powerful scene there as they made the procession, taking the body of Officer Cesar Echaverry, who passed away at the young age of 29 years old in the line of duty, serving and protecting the community. He was born and raised in a community that he loved. Hundreds of law enforcement officers from across South Florida lined the street to honor their brother.
And stick with us right here on CBS 4 News, both on air and online, for continuing coverage as we remember Detective Echeverri. We'll see you soon.